Welcome to Anytime Stories. Today's bedtime story, Adventures of Popeye the Sailor, Episode 1, The Spinach Surprise. In the bustling town of Sweet Haven, where laughter filled the air and the smell of the salty sea wafted through the streets, lived Popeye the Sailor. Popeye was a unique character, known for his love of spinach and his incredible strength. But there was more to Popeye's life than just flexing his muscles. There was Olive Oil, the apple of his eye. Olive Oil was a charming and slightly clumsy woman with a heart as big as the ocean. She had a special place in her heart for Popeye, the sailor with a pipe and a can of spinach always at the ready. Poppy, in turn, was head over heels for Olive, and together they navigated the waters of love with a sprinkle of humor. One sunny day, Poppy decided it was time for a delightful sailing adventure with Olive. He called her up with his classic, "Ahoy, Olive! How about a boat trip on the sailing ship Spinach or sailing ship Spinach?" Olive, always up for an adventure, replied with glee, "Oh, Popeye, that sounds like a swell idea. I can't wait." As Popeye prepared the boat for their journey, the mischievous winds of fate were already at play. Meanwhile, lurking in the shadows was Bluto, a burly and jealous fellow who had his eye on Olive. Bluto couldn't stand the sight of Popeye and Olive having a good time together. He grumbled to himself, "If only I could find a way to win Olive's heart and prove I'm better than that spinach-chomping sailor." With his cunning mind at work, Bluto devised a plan to create a rift between Popeye and Olive. He knew Popeye's weakness, the green, leafy power of spinach. Bluto thought, "If I can get rid of Popeye's spinach, Olive will see I'm the better man." As Popeye and Olive set sail on the sailing ship Spinach, the sun painted the sky with hues of orange and pink. The sea sparkled, and seagulls accompanied the boat with their cheerful cries. Little did they know, this journey would be filled with laughter, surprises, and a spinach-fueled twist. Poppy, wearing his iconic sailor outfit, stood at the helm, his pipe dangling from the corner of his mouth. Olive, with her wide-eyed enthusiasm, skipped around the deck, taking in the beauty of the open sea. Poppy couldn't help but admire Olive's infectious joy. "Ah, Olive, me sweetie, ain't the sea a grand place for a bit of fun?" Olive giggled. "You're right, Popeye. And look, I brought a picnic. Let's find a nice spot on the deck and enjoy the ocean breeze." As they settled down with their picnic, the boat gently rocked with the rhythm of the waves. Olive laid out a feast of sandwiches, fruits, and a special spinach pie she had baked for Popeye. Popeye's eyes twinkled with delight at the sight of the spinach pie. "Well, blow me down, Olive. You really know the way to me heart." Little did they know, Bluto was watching from a distance, his eyes narrowing with envy. He mumbled to himself, "If I'm going to put a wedge between them, I need to get rid of that spinach." Seizing the opportunity, Olive decided to play a playful prank on Popeye. With a mischievous grin, she exclaimed, "Oh, Popeye, look over there. Is that a rare sea creature?" Popeye, always ready for action, squinted his eyes and peered into the distance. "Where, Olive? I don't see no sea creature." Olive burst into laughter, revealing her prank. "Gotcha, Popeye. I just wanted to see that serious face of yours." Popeye chuckled, scratching his head. "Well, blow me down, Olive. You sure know how to keep things interesting." Unknown to them, Bluto, in his quest to eliminate the spinach, had stealthily climbed aboard the sailing ship Spinach. With ninja-like moves, he made his way to the storage area where Popeye kept his precious cans of spinach. Meanwhile, Popeye and Olive, completely unaware of Bluto's presence, continued their picnic. They shared stories, laughed, and enjoyed each other's company under the warm sun. Back in the storage area, Bluto was met with rows of canned spinach. He grinned triumphantly, thinking, "This will teach Popeye a lesson. No spinach, no strength." As Bluto started loading the cans onto a makeshift sack, the boat's horn sounded, signaling the end of their leisurely picnic. Poppy and Olive, blissfully ignorant, gathered their things and prepared to continue their journey. Little did they know, the real adventure was just beginning. The sailing ship Spinach sailed into the horizon, leaving behind a picturesque trail of ripples. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden glow on the water. As the boat glided through the sea, Popeye felt a strange unease. He patted his pockets and searched the storage area. Panic set in as he realized something crucial was missing: his cans of spinach. "Blow me down! Me spinach is gone!" Popeye exclaimed, his face turning from confusion to determination. Olive, noticing Popeye's distress, asked, "What's wrong, Popeye? Did you misplace something?" Popeye gritted his teeth. "It ain't nothing, Olive. Just need to find me spinach. Without it, I ain't as strong as I should be." Olive, always the supportive partner, reassured him. "Don't worry, Popeye. We'll find your spinach. It must be around here somewhere." Little did they know, Bluto, hidden in the shadows of the boat, watched with a sinister grin. His plan was working, and he reveled in the chaos he had caused. Undeterred, Popeye and Olive embarked on a spinach-fueled scavenger hunt across the sailing ship Spinach. They checked every nook and cranny, but the cans were nowhere to be found. Popeye's frustration grew, and his mind raced. "I bet it was that no-good Bluto. He's always up to something." Olive, always the optimist, suggested, "Let's not jump to conclusions, Popeye. Maybe the cans rolled off somewhere during the picnic." But Popeye had a hunch. He clenched his fists and declared, "I'm gonna find Bluto and me spinach. No one messes with me strength and gets away with it." And so, the stage was set for a seafaring adventure filled with laughter, pranks, and a quest to reclaim Popeye's beloved spinach. Little did they know, the mischievous winds of fate were about to lead them into a series of comical and spinach-fueled escapades that would test their strength, their love, and their ability to weather the stormy seas of Sweet Haven. Episode 2. Bluto's Sneaky Scheme. With determination etched on his face, Poppy embarked on a mission to uncover the truth behind the disappearance of his beloved spinach. Olive, always by his side, offered words of encouragement as they combed every inch of the sailing ship Spinach. "Popeye, we'll find your spinach, and everything will be okay," Olive reassured, her eyes reflecting unwavering support. Meanwhile, in the shadowy corners of the boat, Bluto reveled in the chaos he had caused. He clutched Popeye's stolen spinach cans with a devious grin. "Let's see how tough Popeye is without his precious spinach," he chuckled to himself. As Popeye and Olive continued their search, Bluto devised a plan to divert their attention further. Sneaking around the boat, he tied a series of knots in the sails, ensuring a playful but perplexing challenge for the unsuspecting duo. Bluto's plan unfolded as Poppy and Olive approached the sails. "Popeye, look! The sails are all tangled up in knots!" Olive exclaimed, pointing at the chaotic mess. Popeye scratched his head, a perplexed expression on his face. "Well, blow me down. This ain't natural. Someone's playing games with us." Bluto, watching from the shadows, stifled a laugh. The more chaos he sowed, the greater the chance of driving a wedge between Popeye and Olive. With a determined glint in his eye, Popeye set to work unraveling the knots. His strong sailor's hands worked swiftly, but the challenge tested even his patience. Olive, offering her assistance, giggled, "Don't worry, Popeye. We'll untangle these knots together. Teamwork makes the dream work." As they worked side by side, the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow on the deck. The rhythmic sound of waves against the boat provided a backdrop to their efforts. Unbeknownst to them, Bluto decided to add another layer to his scheme. He scurried to the ship's kitchen and, with a sly grin, added a dash of hot sauce to Olive's spinach pie. "This'll spice things up a bit," Bluto chuckled to himself, thinking he could blame the unexpected twist on Popeye's missing spinach. Back on deck, Popeye and Olive finally untangled the last knot. Popeye wiped his brow and sighed in relief. "There, Olive. We did it. Now let's find that no-good Bluto and me spinach." Little did they know, Bluto was one step ahead, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal his next move. As they approached the kitchen, the savory aroma of Olive's spinach pie filled the air. Olive's eyes sparkled with pride. "Popeye, I made a special spinach pie for you. Let's enjoy it together." Popeye, eager to lift his spirits, took a hearty bite. Immediately, his face turned red, and steam seemed to escape from his ears. "Well, blow me down. This ain't your usual spinach pie, Olive. It's hotter than a jalapeno in July." Olive, puzzled, tasted a small bite and gasped. "Oh, my stars, Popeye. I didn't add any extra spice. Something's not right." Bluto, reveling in his mischief, emerged from the shadows with a sly grin. "What's the matter, Popeye? Can't handle a little spice?" Popeye, his face still flushed, squinted at Bluto. "Bluto, you varmint! What did you do to me spinach pie?" Bluto shrugged, feigning innocence. "Me? I didn't do a thing. Maybe Olive just got a bit carried away with the spices." Olive, realizing she had fallen victim to Bluto's trickery, frowned. "Bluto, that's not fair. You're always causing trouble." Bluto chuckled, twirling one of Popeye's spinach cans in his hand. "Well, if you can't handle a little spice, maybe Popeye needs to find a stronger sailor." Popeye, fueled by a mixture of determination and indignation, glared at Bluto. "You can play all the tricks you want, Bluto, but nothing can stop me when I've got me spinach." With that, Popeye downed a can of spinach in one gulp. His muscles bulged, and his eyes glowed with newfound strength. The heat from the spicy pie seemed to dissipate as Popeye's spinach-powered resilience took center stage. Bluto, taken aback by Popeye's transformation, stammered, "Well, I didn't expect that." Olive, impressed by Popeye's strength, couldn't help but smile. "Popeye, you're amazing. Show Bluto that no amount of tricks can beat the power of spinach." Popeye, feeling invincible, cracked his knuckles and flexed his muscles. "Bluto, if you think a bit of spice can stop me, you're in for a surprise." Bluto, realizing his plan had backfired, retreated to the shadows with a scowl. He muttered to himself, "This ain't over, Popeye. I'll find a way to outsmart you." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a tapestry of colors across the sea, Popeye, Olive, and their restored cans of spinach continued their journey through the playful waves. Little did they know, Bluto, nursing his wounded pride, was already plotting his next move. The mischievous winds of fate continued to blow, steering the trio toward more laughter, surprises, and spinach-fueled adventures on the high seas of Sweet Haven. Episode 3, The Search for Spinach. With Popeye's strength restored and Bluto's spicy scheme foiled, the sailing ship Spinach sailed through the moonlit sea, leaving behind the spicy incident. Popeye, Olive, and their cans of spinach were determined to put the chaos behind them and enjoy the rest of their sailing adventure. As the night breeze played with Olive's hair and the boat gently rocked, Popeye couldn't shake the feeling that Bluto had more tricks up his sleeve. He whispered to Olive, "We need to keep a sharp eye out, Olive. Bluto's a crafty one." Olive nodded, her eyes scanning the horizon. "Don't worry, Poppy. We'll be ready for anything he throws at us." Unbeknownst to them, Bluto, sulking in the shadows, overheard their conversation. He smirked to himself, thinking, "They may have outsmarted me this time, but I'll find a way to get between them." As the sailing ship Spinach sailed into the dawn of a new day, Popeye decided it was time to search for clues about Bluto's whereabouts. The mischievous winds of fate had other plans. Suddenly, a seagull swooped down and snatched Popeye's hat right off his head. "Well, blow me down. That rascally bird took me hat," Popeye exclaimed, pointing at the mischievous thief. Olive giggled, finding the situation amusing. "Popeye, it looks like the seagull is a fan of your fashion sense." Popeye, undeterred by the hat-napping incident, chuckled. "I reckon so, Olive. But we can't let a bird distract us from finding Bluto and me Spinach." As they continued their search for clues, they stumbled upon a mysterious island bathed in the golden hues of the sunrise. The island seemed to beckon them with its lush greenery and inviting shores. "Popeye, let's explore the island. Maybe we'll find a clue about Bluto here," Olive suggested, her eyes filled with curiosity. Popeye agreed, and they dropped anchor near the island. Little did they know, Bluto, always lurking in the shadows, saw the opportunity to add another twist to their adventure. The moment Popeye and Olive set foot on the island, the ground beneath them rumbled. A series of comical traps, reminiscent of a funhouse, sprung to life. Tumbling logs, spinning platforms, and inflatable cushions created a whimsical obstacle course. Olive, caught off guard, stumbled on a rolling log, but managed to land on an inflatable cushion. She laughed, "Well, this is unexpected." Popeye, always ready for a challenge, navigated the obstacles with his characteristic swagger. "Blow me down, Olive. Looks like we've stumbled upon Bluto's idea of a welcome committee." Bluto, watching from a distance, grinned. "Let's see them laugh their way through this island of surprises." As Popeye and Olive progressed through the obstacle course, they encountered a peculiar sign that read, "To find what you seek, follow the laughter of the island." Popeye squinted at the sign. "Laughter, eh? Well, Olive, let's follow the sound of giggles and see where it leads." Following the echoes of laughter, they reached a clearing where a group of colorful parrots perched on branches. The parrots, seemingly amused by the duo's antics, mimicked their laughter. Popeye scratched his head. "Well, blow me down. Looks like these feathery critters are the source of the laughter." Olive, charmed by the playful parrots, said, "They're adorable. Maybe they've seen Bluto or know something about our missing spinach." As if on cue, the parrots squawked and flew to a nearby tree. There, tied to one of the branches, was Popeye's missing hat. Popeye grinned. "There's me hat. Looks like these parrots were just playing a prank." Olive added, "Popeye, maybe they can lead us to Bluto or give us a clue about where he went." The parrots, now seemingly cooperative, led Popeye and Olive through the vibrant foliage of the island. The sun cast dappled shadows, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of exotic flowers. Little did they know, Bluto, realizing his trap had been thwarted by a group of mischievous parrots, fumed with frustration. He muttered, "Those blasted birds! I'll find another way to slow them down." As Popeye and Olive followed the parrots, they stumbled upon a hidden cave entrance, adorned with colorful vines. The parrots squawked excitedly, drawing attention to the mysterious opening. Popeye raised an eyebrow. "Well, Olive, looks like this is where our adventure takes a turn. Shall we enter the cave and see what awaits us?" Olive, with a twinkle in her eye, replied, "Absolutely, Popeye. Whatever it is, we'll face it together." With the parrots as their lively guides, Poppy and Olive entered the cave, unaware that Bluto was hot on their trail, determined to turn the tide of the mischievous winds in his favor. Episode 4: The Cave Challenge. The cave, with its cool, shadowy interior, enveloped Popeye and Olive as they ventured deeper. The mischievous parrots fluttered overhead, guiding them through the twists and turns of the mysterious cavern. As Popeye and Olive followed the parrots' colorful feathers, the cave's entrance closed behind them with a soft thud. They turned around to find themselves surrounded by darkness, the only source of light coming from the luminescent glow of the cave walls. Popeye, squinting into the shadows, remarked, "Well, blow me down. Looks like we're in a bit of a pickle, Olive. But don't worry. I'll find a way out and get me spinach back." Olive, her voice filled with optimism, replied, "We've faced challenges before, Popeye. We can handle whatever comes our way." As they ventured further into the cave, the parrots' laughter echoed, leading them through a series of peculiar challenges. The cave seemed to have a mind of its own, with shifting walls and floors that kept the duo on their toes. First, they encountered a slippery slope that led to a bubbling pool of glowing water. Popeye, with his sailor instincts, slid down effortlessly, pulling Olive onto his lap to ensure a smooth descent. Olive, laughing, exclaimed, "Popeye, you really know how to make an entrance." Popeye winked. "Well, Olive, it's all part of the adventure." The parrots squawked in approval, their feathers shimmering with delight as they guided Popeye and Olive to the next challenge, a rickety bridge suspended over a chasm. Popeye, displaying his characteristic bravery, led the way across the swaying bridge, his strong arm supporting Olive. The parrots followed, their wings brushing against the cave walls. Olive, her eyes wide with excitement, teased, "Popeye, I never knew caves could be so full of surprises." Popeye chuckled. "That's the thing about adventures, Olive. They're full of the unexpected." As they crossed the bridge, the path ahead split into multiple winding tunnels. The parrots hovered in front of one particular tunnel, their feathers pointing the way. Popeye scratched his head. "Which way do we go, Olive?" Olive, surveying the options, replied, "Let's follow the parrots. They seem to know the way." Little did they know, Bluto, who had managed to sneak into the cave behind them, was faced with the same choice. He scowled, muttering, "I'll catch up to them and make sure they never find their way out." The chosen tunnel led Poppy and Olive to a vast cavern filled with glowing crystals that illuminated the space in a mesmerizing display of colors. The parrots circled around a central platform, drawing attention to a mysterious pedestal at its center. Popeye approached the pedestal and noticed an inscription that read, "To proceed, solve the riddle of the glowing crystals." Olive, always up for a challenge, suggested, "Poppy, maybe the parrots can help us solve the riddle. After all, they've been guiding us through this cave." Popeye nodded, and with the parrots' guidance, they examined the crystals. The parrots squawked in excitement, whenever Popeye and Olive approached the correct combination. After a series of trial and error, Popeye successfully unlocked the secret mechanism, causing the pedestal to lower and reveal a hidden passage. The parrots cheered, their feathers creating a confetti-like celebration. Bluto, trailing behind, struggled to solve the riddle, growing increasingly frustrated. They won't get away with this. I'll catch up to them, and then they'll see who's the clever one. Popeye, Olive, and their feathery companions proceeded through the newly revealed passage. The cave seemed to respond to their every move, creating an ever-changing environment that kept them on their toes. The path led them to a vast chamber with a towering, spiral staircase that seemed to stretch into infinity. Popeye, undeterred by the dizzying heights, took the lead, with Olive close behind. The parrots, now perched on Popeye's shoulders, guided him through the spiraling ascent. Bluto, realizing he was falling behind, quickened his pace, determined to catch up. As they reached the summit, the cave opened into a breathtaking vista of Sweet Haven below. The parrots squawked and took flight, disappearing into the open sky. Popeye, Olive, and Bluto stood at the edge of the cave's entrance, the sea breeze tousling their hair. Popeye gazed at the horizon, a determined glint in his eye. "Well, Olive, it looks like we've navigated this cave of surprises," Popeye declared, his voice echoing through the cavern. Olive smiled. "And we did it together, Popeye." Bluto, catching his breath, approached with a scowl. "You may have escaped my traps, but this isn't over, Popeye." Popeye, ready for whatever challenge lay ahead, cracked his knuckles. "Bluto, no matter what you throw at us, me strength and Olive's smarts will see us through." The trio, having overcome the challenges of the mysterious cave, descended back to the sailing ship Spinach, anchored near the island. The mischievous winds of fate continued to blow, steering them toward more laughter, surprises, and spinach-fueled adventures on the high seas of Sweet Haven. Episode 5. The Great Sea Race. Back on the sailing ship Spinach, Popeye, Olive, and Bluto found themselves in a momentary truce as they sailed away from the mysterious island. The mischievous winds seemed to have calmed, leaving the trio to enjoy the gentle sea breeze. As the boat cut through the waves, Poppy couldn't shake the feeling that a new adventure was just around the corner. He looked at Olive, who was scanning the horizon with a playful smile. "Ahoy, Olive. How about we make this voyage a bit more interesting?" Popeye suggested, a mischievous twinkle in his eye. Olive, always up for a challenge, replied, "What do you have in mind, Popeye?" Popeye pointed at Bluto, who was leaning against the boat's railing with crossed arms. "How about a friendly sea race, Bluto? We'll see who's the fastest sailor in Sweet Haven." Bluto, never one to back down from a challenge, smirked. "You're on, Popeye. I'll show Olive who the real winner is." Popeye chuckled. "We'll see about that, Bluto. Olive, get ready to be impressed." With a signal from Popeye, the sailing ship Spinach transformed into a sea racer. The sails billowed with wind, and the boat surged forward, leaving foamy trails in its wake. The race was on. The sea stretched out before them, inviting the trio into a playful competition. Popeye manned the helm with Olive by his side, and Bluto took the wheel of his boat, determined to outpace his rival. As the boats raced through the sparkling waters, Popeye and Bluto were neck and neck. The competition was fierce, and the sea echoed with the sounds of laughter and boat engines roaring. Olive, caught in the middle of the friendly rivalry, cheered for both sailors. "Go, Popeye! Go, Bluto! This is so exciting!" The townsfolk of Sweet Haven, spotting the spectacle from the shores, gathered to witness the race. Cheers and applause filled the air as the boats zipped along the coastline. In the midst of the race, Popeye couldn't resist doing his signature pipe-tooting dance, much to Olive's delight. The catchy tune echoed across the sea, adding a festive rhythm to the competition. But Bluto, determined to win Olive's heart, had a trick up his sleeve. With a sly grin, he activated a secret turbo boost on his boat. The engine roared to life, and Bluto's boat shot ahead, leaving Popeye and Olive in its foamy trail. Poppy, surprised by Bluto's sudden burst of speed, squinted at the disappearing boat. "Well, blow me down. Bluto's got some tricks of his own." Olive, holding on to the railing, laughed. "Looks like he's not going down without a fight, Poppy." Determined not to be outdone, Poppy turned to Olive and said, "Hold on, Olive. It's time to give this race a little spinach kick." With a can of spinach in hand, Popeye downed the green goodness. His muscles bulged, and a surge of energy propelled the sailing ship spinach forward. The race was far from over. Bluto, glancing back and seeing Popeye gaining on him, clenched his teeth. "No way! I won't let Popeye steal the spotlight." The boats weaved through the waves, each sailor giving their all. The sun dipped lower on the horizon, casting a warm glow over the sea. As they approached the final stretch, the finish line came into view. The townsfolk on the shores erupted into cheers, eager to see who would emerge victorious. Popeye, with his spinach-fueled strength, inched closer to Bluto's boat. The competition was intense, but Popeye was determined to win, not just the race, but also Olive's heart. Bluto, glancing at Popeye with a mix of frustration and jealousy, muttered to himself, "I won't let him beat me. Not this time." In a surprising turn of events, the boats reached the shore in a photo finish. It was impossible to tell who had won the race. The townsfolk erupted into cheers, creating a whirlwind of excitement. Popeye and Bluto, catching their breath, exchanged good-natured grins. Olive, unable to contain her laughter, said, "Well, this was the most thrilling sea race Sweet Haven has ever seen." The townsfolk gathered around the boats, eager to congratulate the sailors on their exciting performance. Popeye and Bluto, despite their rivalry, acknowledged each other's skills with a nod of respect. As the sun set on the horizon, casting hues of orange and pink across the sky, Popeye turned to Olive and said, "Well, Olive, it looks like this race was a tie, but no matter who won, the real prize is enjoying the journey together." Olive smiled. "You're right, Popeye. Every adventure with you is a prize in itself." Little did they know, the mischievous winds of fate were already planning the next twist in their seafaring escapades. The trio, filled with laughter and a spirit of friendly competition, sailed back to Sweet Haven, ready for whatever surprises lay ahead. Episode 6: The Enchanted Isle. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the tranquil waters of Sweet Haven. The sailing ship Spinach sailed peacefully as Popeye, Olive, and Bluto reveled in the afterglow of their exciting sea race. Little did they know, their next adventure was about to unfold with the gentle whispers of the mischievous winds. As the trio sailed along, the sea took on an ethereal quality. The water sparkled with an otherworldly glow, and a distant island emerged on the horizon, bathed in a soft, inviting light. Poppy, squinting at the mysterious isle, remarked, "Well, blow me down. That island looks like it's calling out to us." Olive, her eyes filled with curiosity, added, "It's so enchanting, Popeye. I wonder what wonders await us there." Bluto, always eager for a new challenge, chimed in, I say we explore it. Who knows what treasures or surprises it holds? With unanimous agreement, the sailing ship Spinach set a course for the Enchanted Isle. As they approached, a gentle melody carried by the sea breeze greeted their ears, adding to the mystique of the island. The island's shores were adorned with vibrant flowers, and the air was filled with a sweet fragrance. The trio anchored the boat and stepped onto the soft sands, their eyes wide with wonder. Popeye, ever vigilant, scanned the surroundings. There's something magical about this place. Keep your eyes peeled, mates. As they ventured further into the heart of the island, they stumbled upon a quaint village with cottages adorned with colorful flowers. The inhabitants, small and whimsical creatures with pointy ears, greeted the visitors with cheerful smiles. One of the creatures, resembling a mischievous sprite, approached and spoke in a melodic voice. "Welcome, travelers, to the Enchanted Isle. I am Spriggle, the guardian of these magical lands. What brings you to our realm?" Popeye, always direct, replied, "We're exploring, Spriggle. What wonders does your Enchanted Isle hold?" Spriggle's eyes twinkled with mischief. "Oh, many wonders indeed. But to truly experience the magic, you must partake in the Great Enchantment Festival. It's a celebration of joy, laughter, and surprises." Bluto, ever the skeptic, raised an eyebrow. "Enchantment Festival? What's that supposed to be, some kind of trick?" Spriggle chuckled. "No tricks, my friend, just pure magic. Follow me and let the festivities begin." The trio, guided by Spriggle, entered the heart of the Enchanted Isle. The village square was adorned with vibrant ribbons, sparkling lights, and whimsical decorations. Laughter and music filled the air as the inhabitants danced in a joyful celebration. Olive, caught up in the enchantment, twirled with one of the sprites. "This is amazing, Popeye. It feels like a dream." Popeye, nodding in agreement, added, "Aye, Olive. But let's not forget to stay on our guard. Enchanted or not, there's always a surprise around the corner." Meanwhile, Bluto found himself entangled in a friendly dance with another sprite, his tough exterior momentarily softened by the joyous atmosphere. The mischievous winds, sensing the changing dynamics, played along, weaving a tale of laughter and camaraderie. The highlight of the festival was the grand feast, where the inhabitants of the Enchanted Isle showcased their culinary delights. Colorful fruits, delectable pastries, and sparkling beverages adorned the long banquet table. Popeye, eyeing the feast with anticipation, remarked, "Well, blow me down. This looks like a spread fit for kings and queens." Spriggle, playing the role of a gracious host, gestured toward the feast. "Partake in the bounty of the Enchanted Isle. Let the flavors transport you to a world of delight." As they enjoyed the feast, the sprites entertained the guests with mesmerizing performances, acrobatics, magical illusions, and whimsical dances that captivated the senses. Bluto, momentarily forgetting his rivalry with Popeye, found himself clapping along with the cheerful crowd. "I must admit, this isn't half bad." Popeye, savoring a particularly delicious spinach pie, raised an eyebrow. "Looks like even Bluto can't resist the magic of good food and company." As the night unfolded, the Enchantment Festival reached its peak with a dazzling display of fireworks that painted the night sky with bursts of color and light. The mischievous winds, delighted by the joyous celebration, whispered secrets of the island's magic to those willing to listen. Spriggle approached Popeye, Olive, and Bluto, a glimmer in his eyes. "Thank you for joining our festival, brave travelers. The Enchanted Isle will forever cherish the laughter and camaraderie you brought. The trio, filled with a sense of warmth and gratitude, bid farewell to the sprites and the magical village. As they sailed away from the enchanted isle, the sea seemed to sparkle with an extra touch of magic. Popeye, leaning against the railing, mused, "Well, Olive, that was one enchanted adventure. But remember, no matter how magical things get, we'll always find our way back home." Olive, leaning on Popeye's shoulder, smiled. "You're right, Popeye. Home is where the heart is, and my heart is always with you." Bluto, standing nearby, couldn't resist a wistful smile. The mischievous winds, sensing a subtle shift in the air, continued to guide the trio toward more laughter, surprises, and spinach-fueled adventures on the high seas of Sweet Haven. Episode 7, The Moonlit Serenade. As the sailing ship Spinach sailed through the moonlit waters, Popeye, Olive, and Bluto found themselves caught in the tranquil embrace of the night. The enchantment of the enchanted isle lingered in the air, and a sense of peace settled over the trio. Popeye, his pipe tootling a gentle tune, remarked, "There's something about a night like this that makes the sea feel like a lullaby." Olive, leaning against the boat's railing, sighed contentedly. "It's so peaceful. I could stay out here forever." Bluto, softened by the serene atmosphere, nodded in agreement. "Yeah, it's not bad. Reminds me of nights back home, minus the sea monsters and rivalries." As the mischievous winds whispered through the sails, a distant melody reached their ears. Soft and melodic, it seemed to beckon them toward a mysterious source. Popeye, his keen senses on alert, said, "Well, blow me down. Did you hear that, Olive?" Olive, entranced by the music, replied, "It sounds like it's coming from that direction." She pointed toward a distant cluster of glowing islands on the horizon. Bluto, intrigued by the mysterious serenade, suggested, "Why don't we follow the music? It might lead us to another adventure." With unanimous agreement, the sailing ship Spinach changed course, guided by the enchanting melody. As they approached the islands, they discovered a hidden lagoon bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. The lagoon was alive with fireflies, their twinkling lights creating a magical ambience. In the center of the lagoon, a small boat drifted with a lone figure playing a soothing melody on a violin. Popeye squinted at the scene. "Looks like we stumbled upon a moonlit serenade, mates." Olive, her eyes filled with wonder, said, "It's beautiful. I wonder who's playing the violin." Bluto, always the romantic at heart, added, "Maybe it's a sea spirit or a mysterious musician who serenades the night." The figure in the boat, sensing the arrival of the sailing ship Spinach, turned to reveal a familiar face. Wimpy, the hamburger-loving friend from Sweet Haven. He smiled and greeted them. "Ahoy, Popeye, Olive, Bluto. Fancy meeting you on this enchanted night." Popeye scratched his head. "Wimpy, what brings you to this secluded lagoon, playing a tune in the moonlight?" Wimpy chuckled. "Well, you see, I heard about this magical lagoon where the fireflies dance to the music of the night. Couldn't resist the chance to enjoy a peaceful serenade." Olive, charmed by the scene, said, "It's like a dream, Wimpy. Mind if we join you?" Wimpy gestured to an empty spot in his boat. "Plenty of room, Olive. Let's enjoy the music together." The trio climbed into the boat, and as Wimpy resumed his violin serenade, a magical dance of fireflies surrounded them. The mischievous winds, playing their part, rustled the sails in rhythm with the music. Bluto, moved by the enchanting atmosphere, couldn't help but admit, "This is something special, Wimpy. I never knew you had such musical talents." Wimpy, focused on his violin, replied, "Ah, music and moonlight have a way of bringing out the best in everyone." As the boat gently sailed through the lagoon, the music echoed across the water, creating a harmonious symphony with the sounds of the night. The fireflies, drawn to the melody, formed intricate patterns of light around the boat. Popeye, his pipe joining the musical ensemble, said, "Well, blow me down. This is a night to remember." Olive, her heart touched by the serenade, added, "Thank you, Wimpy. This is truly magical." Wimpy, smiling, said, "Anything for friends. Now, let's let the music carry us through the night." As the moonlit serenade continued, the sailing ship Spinach and Wimpy's boat sailed through the lagoon, leaving a trail of shimmering ripples in their wake. The mischievous winds, pleased with the harmony they had orchestrated, guided the boats toward more laughter, surprises, and spinach-fueled adventures on the high seas of Sweet Haven. Episode 8. The Mystery of the Whispering Isles. The gentle breeze carried the sailing ship Spinach away from the moonlit lagoon and toward uncharted waters. Popeye, Olive, Bluto, and Wimpy continued their journey through the night, guided by the whims of the mischievous winds. Little did they know, a new mystery awaited them, the Whispering Isles. As the night wore on, the sea took on a mysterious quality. The waters sparkled with an eerie glow, and in the distance, a cluster of small islands emerged, shrouded in mist. Poppy, eyeing the mysterious isles, remarked, "Well, blow me down. Those islands look like they're whispering secrets to the night." Bluto, intrigued by the enigmatic atmosphere, added, "Whispering Isles, huh? Sounds like the beginning of another adventure." Wimpy, holding on to his violin, chuckled, "I wonder what secrets they hold. Perhaps a treasure trove of hamburgers?" Olive, ever the optimist, smiled. "There's only one way to find out. Let's explore the Whispering Isles." With unanimous agreement, the sailing ship Spinach sailed toward the mysterious cluster of islands. As they approached, a soft murmur filled the air. The islands were indeed whispering secrets carried by the gentle night breeze. Popeye, his senses on high alert, said, "Listen, mates. The islands are trying to tell us something." The whispers seemed to form a mysterious melody, a siren song beckoning the curious travelers. The sailing ship Spinach anchored near the largest of the Whispering Isles, and the quartet stepped onto the shores. Wimpy, his violin at the ready, said, "Maybe they want to hear a different kind of music." He played a few notes, blending his violin with the haunting whispers of the isles. As the melody echoed, the islands responded with a subtle shift. A hidden passage revealed itself, leading the adventurers into the heart of the Whispering Isles. The path took them through dense foliage, illuminated by the soft glow of fireflies. The air was filled with a sense of anticipation, as if the islands themselves were leading the way. Bluto, peering into the shadows, muttered, "This place gives me the creeps. What kind of secrets are we dealing with here?" Olive, undeterred by the mysterious ambience, replied, "Let's find out, Bluto. Sometimes, mysteries are just waiting to be uncovered." The path led them to a clearing where a collection of ancient stone statues stood, each one intricately carved with symbols and markings. The whispers grew more pronounced, weaving a tale of a forgotten civilization. Popeye examined the statues. "Seems like these folks had a story to tell. But what is it, I wonder?" Wimpy, always ready for a good story, suggested, "Maybe the islands want us to uncover their secrets. It's like a treasure hunt for knowledge." As they explored further, they discovered a series of inscriptions on the statues, each one hinting at the history of the Whispering Isles. The islands, it seemed, held the key to an ancient civilization that had faded into the mists of time. The whispers guided them to a central statue adorned with an intricate map. Popeye squinted at the markings. "Looks like we've got ourselves a treasure map, mates." Bluto, his skepticism momentarily set aside, said, "If there's a treasure to be found, count me in." Olive, tracing the map with her finger, added, "Let's follow the map and see where it leads. Maybe the Whispering Isles have a surprise for us." With the map in hand, the adventurers ventured deeper into the Whispering Isles, guided by the melodic whispers that seemed to grow more insistent. The mischievous winds, sensing the allure of undiscovered mysteries, played along, rustling the leaves and adding to the ethereal atmosphere. As they followed the map, the path led to a hidden cavern at the heart of the largest island. Inside, a chamber filled with ancient artifacts awaited them. Illuminated by the soft glow of crystals, the treasures of the forgotten civilization glistened in the darkness. Popeye, his eyes wide with wonder, said, "Well, blow me down. It looks like we've uncovered the secrets of the Whispering Isles." Bluto, admiring the artifacts, added, "This is more than I bargained for. It's like we stepped into a tale from the past." Olive, holding a delicate artifact, said, "It's amazing how the islands held on to their history. It's like they wanted someone to discover their story." Wimpy, eyeing the artifacts with a hunger for knowledge, suggested, "Perhaps the Whispering Isles wanted their secrets to be shared with the world, a hidden history waiting to be uncovered." As the adventurers marveled at the treasures, the whispers around them seemed to crescendo into a harmonious melody. It was as if the islands were expressing gratitude for unveiling their long-lost story. Popeye, touched by the moment, said, "Well, mates, it looks like the Whispering Isles wanted to share a piece of their past with us. Let's remember this night and the secrets we uncovered." With artifacts in hand and the melody of the Whispering Isles lingering in their hearts, the adventurers returned to the sailing ship Spinach. The mischievous winds, satisfied with the unfolding tale, guided them back into the open sea, ready to weave more laughter, surprises, and spinach-fueled adventures on the high seas of Sweet Haven. Episode 9, The Pirate's Parley. The sailing ship Spinach sailed through familiar waters, the whispers of the Whispering Isles still echoing in the minds of Poppy, Olive, Bluto, and Wimpy. The mischievous winds, always eager for new tales, whispered of an approaching event that would set the stage for the next adventure, a pirate's parley. One day, as the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, a tattered map with a distinctive pirate seal appeared mysteriously on the deck of the sailing ship Spinach. Popeye, Olive, Bluto, and Wimpy gathered around the map, curious about its origin. Popeye, eyeing the pirate seal, said, "Looks like we've got an invitation, mates. A pirate's parley, it says." Bluto, his eyes narrowing, added, "A parley with pirates, eh? This could either be a trap or a chance for a new alliance." Olive, ever the optimist, suggested, "Let's give it a try. Maybe they have a tale to tell or a secret to share." Wimpy, looking at the map with a gleam in his eye, chimed in, "And who knows, maybe they'll have some interesting snacks at this pirate's parley." With a sense of anticipation, the sailing ship Spinach set a course for the coordinates marked on the map. As they sailed toward the meeting point, the sea breeze carried the distant sounds of creaking ships and the hearty laughter of pirates. The mischievous winds, reveling in the excitement, guided the boat to a hidden cove where a gathering of pirate ships bobbed on the waves. Flags with menacing symbols fluttered in the breeze, and the air was thick with the scent of salt water and adventure. As the sailing ship Spinach anchored, a dinghy approached, rowed by a scruffy pirate with a twinkle in his eye. He shouted, "Ahoy there! Ye be the ones with the mysterious map, aye?" Popeye, standing tall, replied, "Aye, we are. What's this pirate's parley all about?" The pirate, introducing himself as Captain Blackbeard Bones, grinned. "Ye be invited to a gathering of pirates from far and wide, a chance for tales to be told, alliances to be formed, and maybe a bit of friendly competition." Bluto, eyeing the other pirate ships warily, asked, "Competition, you say? What kind of competition?" Captain Blackbeard Bones chuckled. "A good old game of pirate challenges, of course. Prove your skills, share your stories, and maybe earn the respect of the high seas." With a mix of excitement and caution, the adventurers joined Captain Blackbeard Bones on his ship, which served as the meeting point for the pirates' parley. Pirate crews from different ships mingled, sharing tales of daring escapades, hidden treasures, and encounters with legendary sea monsters. Poppy, always ready for a challenge, said, "Well, mates, let's show 'em what we're made of. We'll earn their respect, and maybe make a few allies along the way." Olive, with a glint of determination in her eyes, added, "And who knows, maybe we'll learn a thing or two about the high seas." The pirates' parley commenced with a series of friendly competitions, from rope climbing to navigating treacherous obstacle courses. The sailing ship Spinach crew, combining Popeye's strength, Bluto's brawn, Wimpy's agility, and Olive's quick thinking, held their own against the seasoned pirates. As the day unfolded, the crews gathered around a bonfire, the flames flickering in the night. Captain Blackbeard Bones raised a tankard and declared, "To new friendships and shared tales on the high seas." The crews, including the adventurers, cheered in unison, the bonds of camaraderie forged through the challenges of the pirates' parley. As the night wore on, Captain Blackbeard Bones approached Popeye and said, "Ye and your crew showed real mettle, me hearties. The high seas could use more like ye." Popeye, extending a hand, replied, "Aye, Captain. If there's ever a need for allies, ye can count on us." The mischievous winds, satisfied with the camaraderie that had blossomed, guided the sailing ship Spinach back into the open sea. As they sailed away from the pirates' parley, the crew looked ahead to more laughter, surprises, and spinach-fueled adventures on the high seas of Sweet Haven. Episode 10, The Mermaid's Melody. The sailing ship Spinach sailed smoothly through the azure waters, leaving the raucous laughter of the pirates' parley behind. The crew, Popeye, Olive, Bluto, and Wimpy, basked in the warmth of the sun and the gentle sway of the sea. Little did they know that a new adventure awaited beneath the surface, a melody that would stir the depths of the ocean. As the boat glided over the crystal-clear waters, a distant sound reached their ears, a haunting melody that seemed to resonate from the heart of the sea. Popeye, his senses attuned to the call of the ocean, remarked, "Well, blow me down. That be a mermaid's melody." Olive, her eyes sparkling with curiosity, asked, "A mermaid's melody? Do you think there's a mermaid nearby?" Bluto, ever the skeptic, scoffed, "Mermaids? Those are just sailors' tales, Popeye." Wimpy, always open to the possibility of new culinary experiences, added, "Perhaps they have some undersea snacks to share. You never know until you explore." Guided by the enchanting melody, the sailing ship Spinach sailed toward the source of the music. As they approached a secluded cove, The water sparkled with an ethereal glow. A figure with shimmering scales and a long flowing tail rose from the depths, a mermaid. The mermaid, her voice like a gentle breeze, greeted them. "Welcome, travelers of the surface world. I am Marina, the guardian of these waters. What brings you to my realm?" Popeye, tipping his sailor's cap, replied, "We heard your mesmerizing melody, Marina. It called to us, like the sea calling to a sailor." Marina, her eyes filled with a mysterious depth, said, "I sensed kindred spirits above. Would you care to join me in a dance beneath the waves?" Bluto, eyeing the mermaid with a mix of fascination and disbelief, muttered, "Dance with a mermaid? This I've got to see." With Marina's guidance, the crew donned enchanted seafaring attire, and a magical bubble surrounded them as they descended into the depths of the cove. The underwater world unfolded with vibrant coral reefs, schools of dazzling fish, and playful sea creatures. Marina, with graceful movements, led the crew in an otherworldly dance. The water responded to the melody, creating swirls of luminescent patterns that illuminated the underwater realm. Olive, twirling in the water with a newfound grace, exclaimed, "This is incredible. It feels like we're part of a living painting." Popeye, dancing with Marina, added, "Aye, Olive. The sea be full of surprises, and Marina here knows how to make a dance memorable." Bluto, despite his initial skepticism, found himself caught up in the enchantment of the underwater dance. Even Wimpy, who usually focused on food, couldn't help but move with the rhythm of the sea. As the dance reached its crescendo, Marina's melody blended with the mischievous winds, creating a harmonious symphony that resonated through the ocean depths. The enchanted bubble carried the crew back to the surface, leaving them breathless and filled with wonder. Marina, with a gracious smile, said, "Thank you for sharing this dance, surface dwellers. Your spirits are as lively as the waves." Popeye, still caught in the magic of the moment, replied, "The pleasure be ours, Marina. Your melody brought a bit of the sea's magic to our journey." As the sailing ship Spinach sailed away from the cove, the crew looked back at the shimmering waters where Marina's melody still lingered. The mischievous winds, satisfied with the enchanting tale they had woven, guided the boat toward more laughter, surprises, and spinach-fueled adventures on the high seas of Sweet Haven. Episode 11, The Lost Treasure of Sweet Haven. The sailing ship Spinach sailed beneath a cloudless sky, the crew still enraptured by the magic of the mermaid's dance. As the sun dipped lower on the horizon, Popeye, Olive, Bluto, and Wimpy found themselves drawn toward the heart of Sweet Haven, where a new mystery awaited, the legend of the lost treasure of Sweet Haven. One evening, as the sailing ship Spinach docked in the familiar harbor, a weathered map appeared mysteriously on the deck. Popeye picked it up and examined it closely. "Well, blow me down. It looks like we've got ourselves a treasure map, mates." Olive, her eyes wide with excitement, asked, "A treasure map in Sweet Haven? This must be the lost treasure everyone talks about." Bluto, rubbing his hands together with anticipation, grinned. "Lost treasure, eh? I've always had a knack for finding hidden riches." Wimpy, his mind already on potential snacks, added, "Maybe the treasure includes a stash of golden hamburgers." With the mischievous winds carrying whispers of the lost treasure, the crew followed the map's markings through the winding streets of Sweet Haven. The clues led them to familiar and lesser-known parts of the town, including secret passages and hidden caves. As they delved deeper into the hunt, they encountered quirky puzzles and challenges that required a mix of strength, wit, and a dash of humor to solve. The townsfolk, sensing the unfolding adventure, cheered the crew along their quest. Popeye, always ready for a challenge, flexed his muscles. "Looks like Sweet Haven is testing our mettle, mates. Let's show 'em what we're made of." Olive, with a glint of determination, added, "And maybe the treasure holds something that will benefit all of Sweet Haven." Bluto, eager to prove his worth, declared, "No puzzle or challenge can stand in the way of Bluto the Brave." Wimpy, scratching his head, mused, "I wonder if the treasure includes any rare snacks. A treasure chest full of potato chips would be quite delightful." The map led them to the outskirts of Sweet Haven, where an ancient tree with twisted roots stood. A hidden passage beneath the roots revealed a cavern filled with sparkling gems, golden coins, and a chest adorned with intricate carvings. Popeye, unlocking the chest, revealed its contents, a collection of precious artifacts, including a golden spinach can and a map that hinted at the location of a legendary spinach garden. Bluto, eyeing the golden spinach can, grumbled, "Not exactly a chest of jewels, but I suppose it's something." Olive, examining the map, said, "A spinach garden. That's a treasure for Sweet Haven. It will provide fresh spinach for everyone." Wimpy, his eyes gleaming with anticipation, added, "And think of the delicious spinach-themed snacks we can create with a garden like that." As the crew celebrated their discovery, the mischievous winds whispered secrets of the ancient spinach garden and its connection to the history of Sweet Haven. The crew, filled with a sense of accomplishment, decided to share the treasure with the townsfolk. Back in Sweet Haven, the crew unveiled the golden spinach can and the map to the hidden spinach garden. The townsfolk, grateful for the unexpected treasure, cheered and celebrated with a feast of spinach-themed dishes. Popeye, lifting a toast with a can of spinach, declared, "To the lost treasure of Sweet Haven, may it bring health, happiness, and plenty of laughter to our beloved town." As the festivities continued, the mischievous winds played a tune that echoed through Sweet Haven, a melody of joy and community. The crew, their hearts full, looked forward to more laughter, surprises, and spinach-fueled adventures on the high seas of their cherished home. Episode 12, The Cursed Compass. The days in Sweet Haven sailed by with laughter and contentment. The golden spinach garden thrived, and the townsfolk reveled in the abundance of fresh spinach. However, as the mischievous winds carried whispers of an ancient relic, the cursed compass, the crew of the sailing ship Spinach found themselves drawn into a new and mysterious chapter of their seafaring adventures. One morning, as Popeye, Olive, Bluto, and Wimpy enjoyed a peaceful breakfast in Sweet Haven, a tattered and weathered compass appeared on the deck of the boat. Popeye picked it up, his sailor senses tingling. "Well, blow me down. This be no ordinary compass. It's the legendary cursed compass." Olive, looking at the ancient relic with a mix of curiosity and caution, asked, "Cursed compass? What kind of curse are we talking about here?" Bluto, eyeing the compass warily, added, "Curses or not, I've never been one to shy away from a challenge." Wimpy, glancing at the compass between bites of spinach pancakes, mumbled, "I hope the curse doesn't affect the snacks. That would be most unfortunate." With the cursed compass in hand, the sailing ship Spinach set sail once again, guided by the mysterious directions the relic provided. The mischievous winds, sensing the unfolding tale, rustled the sails with an air of anticipation. As they sailed through familiar waters and uncharted territories, the compass led them to a secluded island shrouded in mist. The crew disembarked, their senses on high alert. The island seemed to pulse with an ancient energy. Popeye, studying the compass, said, "The needle keeps pointing to that cave over yonder. Let's see what secrets this island holds." The cave, hidden amidst jagged rocks, revealed a passage leading to a cavern adorned with symbols and carvings. At the heart of the cavern, a pedestal held a mysterious orb, a relic said to hold the key to breaking the curse of the compass. Marooned in the cavern was Captain Ironhook, a legendary pirate whose fate was tied to the curse. He greeted the crew with a gruff voice. "Ye be the ones drawn by the cursed compass, eh? I've been waiting for someone to break this spell." Popeye, ever the compassionate sailor, said, "We'll help ye, Captain Ironhook. What's the tale behind this curse?" Captain Ironhook explained that the cursed compass had bound him to the island, and only by unlocking the secrets of the ancient orb could the curse be lifted. The crew, determined to help, examined the symbols and carvings, piecing together the puzzle of the curse. Olive, her eyes filled with empathy, said, "We can't let Captain Ironhook be marooned forever. Let's break this curse and set him free." Bluto, rolling up his sleeves, added, "I'm not one for curses, but if it means helping someone in need, count me in." Wimpy, eyeing the symbols with mild interest, said, "Breaking curses and finding treasure. It's all in a day's work for the sailing ship Spinach crew." As the crew deciphered the symbols and aligned the cursed compass with the ancient orb, a surge of energy filled the cavern. The curse began to unravel, and Captain Ironhook, free at last, stepped into the light. Grateful for the crew's help, Captain Ironhook said, "Ye have my thanks, brave sailors. The cursed compass be a tricky thing, but with kind hearts like yours, it can be tamed." The mischievous winds, satisfied with the resolution of the tale, guided the sailing ship Spinach back into open waters. Captain Ironhook, now free to roam the seas, joined the crew in their journey, adding a new dimension to their adventures. As they sailed away from the mysterious island, the crew looked ahead to more laughter, surprises, and spinach-fueled adventures on the high seas of Sweet Haven, accompanied by their newfound companion, Captain Ironhook. Episode 13, The Sky Pirates' Skyway. The sailing ship Spinach glided through the open sea, its crew, Popeye, Olive, Bluto, Wimpy, and Captain Ironhook, enjoying the peaceful journey. The mischievous winds, ever eager for excitement, whispered of a new adventure on the horizon, a tale that would take them beyond the sea and into the vast expanse of the sky. One day, as the crew marveled at the endless blue above, a peculiar airship appeared on the horizon. The ship, adorned with tattered sails and a pirate flag, descended gracefully toward the sailing ship Spinach. Popeye squinted at the approaching vessel. "Well, blow me down. Looks like we've got sky pirates paying us a visit." The airship docked alongside the sailing ship Spinach, and its captain, a daring and charismatic figure named Skyblade Scarlet, greeted them. "Ahoy, fellow skyfarers. I'm Skyblade Scarlet, captain of the Celestial Corsair. We've heard tales of your seafaring adventures and thought we'd pay you a visit." Bluto, sizing up the sky pirates with a mix of curiosity and wariness, grunted, "Sky pirates? I've dealt with pirates on the sea, but this is a whole new level." Olive, her eyes sparkling with excitement, added, "Sky pirates sound like a thrilling challenge. Maybe they have tales of floating islands and soaring adventures." Wimpy, thinking about potential sky-themed snacks, chimed in, "I wonder if they have any recipes for airborne delicacies. Sky-fried spinach, perhaps?" Skyblade Scarlet, noticing the cursed compass, asked, "What's this? A cursed compass? You're on a journey, and we sky pirates are always up for a good adventure. Fancy a ride on the Celestial Corsair's Skyway?" With a nod of agreement, the crew joined the sky pirates on their airship. As the sailing ship Spinach sailed into the sky, supported by enchanted propellers, a new realm unfolded above the clouds. A vast and unexplored skyway filled with floating islands, sky whales, and airborne wonders. Skyblade Scarlet, her eyes gleaming with the spirit of adventure, said, "Welcome to the Skyway, mates. It's a realm where the sea meets the sky, and the possibilities are as endless as the horizon." The sky pirates guided the crew through breathtaking landscapes, sharing tales of hidden sky islands, aerial duels with rival airships, and encounters with mythical creatures that soared among the clouds. The mischievous winds, delighted by the new heights of the adventure, played with the sails and created whirlwinds of laughter. Poppy, enjoying the novelty of the skyway, said, "Well, mates, it looks like we've stumbled upon a whole new world above the clouds. Who would have thought?" Olive, her hair tousled by the wind, added, "It's like a dream up here. I never imagined the sky could be so full of wonders." Bluto, eyeing the airborne landscapes, admitted, "I might have been skeptical at first, but this skyway is something else. It's like sailing on air." As the crew and the sky pirates navigated through the skyway, they encountered a series of floating islands adorned with ancient ruins. Skyblade Scarlet, her eyes sharp, said, "Legend has it that these islands hold the key to unlocking the secrets of the sky." The crew, drawn by the mystery, explored the islands and uncovered ancient artifacts that hinted at the connection between the sky and the sea. The cursed compass, responding to the celestial energies, glowed with renewed vigor. Skyblade Scarlet, her gaze fixed on the horizon, said, "The skyway is full of surprises, and every island has a tale to tell. Perhaps it's time for a new chapter in the book of our adventures." As the sailing ship Spinach sailed through the vast expanse of the sky, the crew and the sky pirates looked ahead to more laughter, surprises, and airborne escapades on the high skyways of Sweet Haven. Episode 14, The Song of the Celestial Sirens. The sailing ship Spinach and the Celestial Corsair continued their skyward journey through the wondrous skyway. The air was crisp, the clouds parted to reveal islands suspended in the heavens, and the crew, Popeye, Olive, Bluto, Wimpy, and Captain Ironhook, marveled at the celestial sights. One day, as they sailed through a particularly enchanting part of the sky, the air became filled with a melodic hum, as if the very heavens were singing. The source of the ethereal melody soon became apparent: the celestial sirens, mythical beings, said to inhabit the highest reaches of the skyway. Popeye, his keen senses attuned to the magic of the skies, said, "Well, blow me down. The celestial sirens be singin' their heavenly tune." Olive, entranced by the celestial melody, added, "It's like the entire sky is alive with music. I've never heard anything so beautiful." Bluto, his gruff exterior momentarily softened by the enchanting sounds, remarked, "Even a tough guy like me can appreciate a good tune. Let's see what these celestial sirens are all about." Skyblade Scarlet, guiding the airship toward the source of the melody, said, "The celestial sirens are known for their magical songs that resonate through the skyway. It's said that those who hear their melody are granted good fortune and protection on their journey." As the crew approached a cluster of floating islands adorned with luminescent flowers, the celestial sirens revealed themselves. Graceful and otherworldly, the sirens hovered above the clouds, their voices blending with the wind to create a harmonious symphony. The sirens, their songs echoing through the air, greeted the crew with a celestial welcome. Travelers of the Skyway, we are the celestial sirens. Your presence brings joy to the heavens. What brings you to our realm? Poppy, tipping his sailor's cap, replied, We be exploring the wonders of the Skyway. Your songs have led us to this heavenly haven. The celestial sirens, pleased by the crew's appreciation for their music, decided to share a special song, a melody that held the power to strengthen the bonds of friendship and camaraderie among the crew. As the sirens sang, a magical aura enveloped the sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair. The crew, feeling the enchanting effects of the celestial melody, found their hearts filled with warmth and a deep sense of connection. Bluto, usually the tough guy, clapped a hand on Popeye's shoulder. Well, I never thought I'd say this, but that's one powerful tune. Makes you appreciate the beauty of the skies. Wimpy, his eyes gleaming with newfound camaraderie, said, I feel like we're all part of a grand adventure, sailing through the sky with friends old and new. Olive, her heart touched by the celestial melody, added, Thank you, celestial sirens. Your song has brought a new kind of magic to our journey. As the celestial song continued, the airship sailed through the Skyway, leaving a trail of luminescent stardust in its wake. The mischievous winds, ever playful, danced through the sails, adding their own playful notes to the celestial symphony. Skyblade Scarlet, steering the airship with a skilled hand, said, May the celestial siren's song guide us through the Skyway and bring blessings to our journey. Onward, my friends, to more adventures in the high skies. As the crew sailed away from the celestial sirens, their hearts filled with the magic of the celestial melody, they looked forward to more laughter, surprises, and airborne wonders on the high skyways of Sweet Haven. Episode 15, The Skyway Storm and the Floating Library. The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair continued their journey through the vast expanse of the Skyway. The celestial melody of the celestial sirens lingered in the air, adding a touch of magic to the already enchanting sky. However, the mischievous winds, always unpredictable, whispered of an approaching challenge, the Skyway Storm. One day, as the crew marveled at the floating islands and danced with the playful winds, ominous clouds gathered on the horizon. The airship's instruments detected a powerful storm brewing, one that could disrupt their journey through the Skyway. Popeye, squinting at the darkening sky, said, Looks like we've got ourselves a Skyway storm, mates. We'll need to navigate through it carefully. Bluto, his eyes narrowing, added, Storms at sea are one thing, but storms in the sky, this could be a whole new level of challenge. Olive, holding onto the railing, said, We've faced challenges before, and we've always come through. Let's weather this storm together. Wimpy, securing his hat against the gusts of wind, mused, I hope this storm doesn't affect the snacks. Airborne snacks could be quite the delicacy. As the crew prepared for the impending storm, the mischievous winds, sensing the challenge ahead, played with the sails, creating intricate patterns that seemed to dance with the approaching tempest. The Skyway Storm unleashed its fury with powerful gusts of wind and swirling clouds. The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair, expertly guided by Skyblade Scarlet, navigated through the tumultuous currents, battling against the elements. Thunder roared and lightning cracked through the sky, but the crew held on to the spirit of camaraderie and determination. As they neared the heart of the storm, a massive floating structure emerged, an ancient library suspended in the turbulent skies. Popeye, shouting over the roar of the storm, said, "Look, mates, a floating library in the midst of the tempest. Let's seek shelter and see what secrets it holds." With careful maneuvering, the airship docked at the floating library. The crew, braving the winds and rain, entered the ancient structure. Inside, shelves filled with celestial books and scrolls lined the walls. The librarian, a wise figure with a long beard and luminous eyes, greeted them. "Welcome, travelers. I am Libraeus, the keeper of knowledge in the skyway. What brings you to the floating library amidst the storm?" Popeye, wiping rain from his face, replied, "We be navigating through the skyway storm, and this library appeared as a refuge. What secrets do these celestial books hold?" Libraeus, guiding them through the aisles, explained that the books contained the wisdom of the skyway, ancient maps, celestial navigation techniques, and tales of legendary skyfarers. The library, it seemed, held the key to understanding the ever-changing currents of the skyway. As the crew delved into the celestial knowledge, they discovered a map that revealed a safe passage through the storm. Armed with newfound insights, they thanked Libraeus and returned to their airship. With the mischievous winds now guiding them with newfound wisdom, the sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair sailed through the skyway storm, following the celestial map. The storm, once a formidable adversary, transformed into a challenging but navigable journey through the high skies. As the crew emerged from the storm, leaving the floating library behind, they looked ahead to more laughter, surprises, and the ever-unfolding mysteries of the skyway. Episode 16, The Celestial Dance Festival. The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair sailed on through the vast and serene stretches of the skyway, having weathered the storm with newfound knowledge from the floating library. As they continued their journey, the air seemed to shimmer with anticipation. An event of celestial proportions awaited them, the Celestial Dance Festival. One day, as the crew marveled at the ever-changing landscape of floating islands and sky currents, vibrant lights began to dance across the sky. A celestial symphony accompanied the display, and the mischievous winds whispered of the approaching festival. Popeye, his eye squinting toward the radiant lights, said, "Well, blow me down. It looks like we've stumbled upon the Celestial Dance Festival. What a sight for sore eyes." Olive, enchanted by the celestial lights, added, "I've heard tales of this festival. It's a celebration of the harmony between the sky and the stars." Bluto, his gruff demeanor momentarily softened, remarked, "Even I can appreciate a good festival. Let's join in the celebration and see what the skyway has to offer." Wimpy, eyes gleaming with anticipation, said, "I wonder if they have any celestial snacks. Moon-shaped cookies or starfruit tarts would be delightful." The airship sailed toward the heart of the festival, where floating platforms adorned with luminescent flowers served as the dance floor. Celestial beings, known as the Starlight Dancers, gracefully twirled and spun in a celestial dance that mirrored the patterns of the constellations. Skyblade Scarlet, her eyes filled with wonder, said, "Welcome to the Celestial Dance Festival, my friends. It's a celebration of the cosmic dance that guides us through the skyway." The crew, eager to join in the festivities, descended onto the floating platforms. The Starlight Dancers, recognizing the visitors, invited them to participate in the celestial dance. Popeye, Olive, Bluto, Wimpy, and Captain Ironhook joined hands with the starlight dancers, feeling the energy of the skyway infuse their movements. The mischievous winds, ever playful, swirled around the dancers, adding an extra element of magic to the celestial dance. As the crew moved in harmony with the starlight dancers, the lights in the sky intensified, creating patterns that mirrored the constellations above. The festival reached its peak, and the celestial symphony played a melodious tune that echoed through the skyway. Olive, her heart filled with joy, said, "This is truly a magical experience. I feel like we're part of something much greater than ourselves." Bluto, dancing with unexpected grace, added, "I never thought I'd say this, but the skyway has a way of bringing out the best in all of us." Wimpy, twirling with celestial snacks in hand, mused, "I must say, this festival has surpassed my snack expectations. The celestial cookies are divine." As the celestial dance reached its conclusion, the starlight dancers thanked the crew for joining in the celebration. With a final flourish, they vanished into the sky, leaving behind a trail of stardust. The mischievous winds, content with the joyous tale they had woven, guided the sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair toward new horizons in the skyway. The crew, their hearts lifted by the celestial dance, looked ahead to more laughter, surprises, and the ever-unfolding wonders of the high skies. Episode 17, The Floating Market of Nebula Bazaar. The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair continued their journey through the celestial wonders of the skyway. As the crew sailed among floating islands and shimmering stardust, the mischievous winds carried whispers of an extraordinary event, the floating market of Nebula Bazaar. One day, as the airship sailed through a particularly radiant part of the skyway, the crew noticed a dazzling collection of floating islands adorned with vibrant banners and celestial lanterns. A bustling atmosphere of trade and commerce filled the air. Popeye, squinting toward the spectacle, said, "Well, blow me down. Looks like we've stumbled upon the floating market of Nebula Bazaar. A market in the sky, that's a new one." Olive, her eyes sparkling with curiosity, added, "I've heard tales of this market. They say it travels through the skyway, offering rare treasures and celestial goods." Bluto, rubbing his hands together with anticipation, remarked, "A market in the sky? This could be a chance to find something truly extraordinary." Wimpy, thinking about potential celestial snacks, mused, "I wonder if they have stardust-infused pastries or moonberry pies. Let's explore and find out." The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair descended onto one of the floating islands, where a vibrant marketplace awaited. Celestial beings, merchants with wings of stardust, offered an array of unique goods, glowing crystals, celestial fabrics, and even sky-brewed potions. Skyblade Scarlet, leading the way with an excited gleam in her eyes, said, "Welcome to Nebula Bazaar, my friends. This floating market appears at different points in the skyway, offering treasures from across the cosmos." The crew explored the market, each member finding something that piqued their interest. Popeye discovered a telescope that could reveal hidden constellations. Olive found a celestial loom that wove fabrics with patterns inspired by the stars. Bluto acquired a potion that enhanced his strength under the light of the moon, and Wimpy indulged in a selection of celestial snacks that delighted his taste buds. As they strolled through the market, the crew encountered an enigmatic figure, an astronomer named Stella Luna, known for her deep knowledge of the celestial realms. Stella Luna, her eyes reflecting the vastness of the cosmos, approached the crew. "Greetings, travelers of the Skyway. I sense a connection between you and the celestial energies," she said. Popeye, tipping his hat, replied, "Aye, we've been sailing through the wonders of the Skyway. What brings you to Nebula Bazaar, Stella Luna?" Stella Luna explained that she sought a rare celestial artifact, a star-shard crystal said to hold the key to unlocking the mysteries of the high skies. The crew, intrigued by the quest, offered to help her find the elusive crystal. The mischievous winds, sensing the unfolding adventure, played with the celestial banners and carried whispers of the star-shard crystal's whereabouts. With the floating market of Nebula Bazaar as their backdrop, the crew and Stella Luna embarked on a quest to uncover the secrets of the high skies and the celestial artifact that would add a new chapter to their seafaring adventures. Episode 18: The Quest for the Star-Shard Crystal. The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair set sail on a new quest through the Skyway, guided by the whispers of the mischievous winds and the celestial banners of Nebula Bazaar. Popeye, Olive, Bluto, Wimpy, Skyblade Scarlet, and Stella Luna, the astronomer, joined forces in their pursuit of the elusive star-shard crystal. As the airship soared among floating islands and celestial currents, Stella Luna consulted her celestial maps and ancient star charts. The mischievous winds, always eager for adventure, rustled the sails and carried hints of the crystal's location, a distant island hidden amidst the celestial clouds. Popeye, steering the ship with a steady hand, said, "Looks like we've got ourselves a celestial quest, mates. Let's follow the winds and find that star-shard crystal." Olive, studying the maps with Stella Luna, added, "I've read that the crystal is said to harness the energies of the stars. Imagine the wonders it could reveal." Bluto, his eyes fixed on the horizon, remarked, "A crystal with the power of the stars? This could be more valuable than any treasure I've sought." Wimpy, already envisioning snacks infused with celestial magic, mused, "I wonder if the crystal can add a touch of stardust to my snacks. Skyway-themed treats could be a hit." As the crew sailed toward the distant island, they encountered celestial challenges along the way. Shifting star currents, cloud mazes, and playful sky creatures. Each challenge, however, brought them closer to the heart of the Skyway and the secrets it held. Stella Luna, her eyes shining with determination, said, "We're nearing the island where the star-shard crystal awaits. It's a place where the celestial energies converge, and only those attuned to the skies can reach its core." The island, bathed in the soft glow of celestial light, revealed itself as the crew approached. Stella Luna, using her astronomical knowledge, guided the crew through the celestial passages that led to the heart of the island. There, surrounded by ancient celestial symbols, the star-shard crystal awaited. Its radiant glow illuminated the surroundings, and the air hummed with celestial energy. Popeye, Olive, Bluto, Wimpy, Skyblade Scarlet, and Stella Luna gathered around the crystal, feeling its cosmic vibrations. Stella Luna, with reverence in her voice, said, "The star-shard crystal holds the wisdom of the cosmos. It reveals the secrets of the high skies and connects us to the celestial dance that guides our journey." As the crew marveled at the crystal's brilliance, the mischievous winds, satisfied with the successful quest, played with the celestial banners, creating a spectacle of dancing colors. The crew, now in possession of the star-shard crystal, set sail back through the Skyway, guided by its newfound celestial insights. The crystal, nestled among the celestial treasures acquired at Nebula Bazaar, added a new glow to the sailing ship Spinach. As they sailed away from the mystical island, the crew looked ahead to more laughter, surprises, and the ever-unfolding wonders of the high skies. The mischievous winds, content with the celestial tale they had woven, whispered promises of more adventures on the horizon. Episode 19, The Cosmic Mirage. The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair sailed through the skyway, the glow of the star-shard crystal guiding them on their celestial journey. As the crew reveled in the wonders of the high skies, the mischievous winds played with the celestial banners, creating intricate patterns that seemed to dance with the newfound cosmic energy. One day, as they sailed through a particularly mesmerizing part of the skyway, the crew noticed a celestial phenomenon, an otherworldly mirage that shimmered in the distance. Popeye, his sailor senses tingling, said, "Well, blow me down. Looks like we've got ourselves a cosmic mirage ahead. Let's investigate, mates." Olive, her eyes wide with wonder, added, "I've read about cosmic mirages. They're said to be glimpses into other realms and dimensions. This could be a chance for extraordinary discoveries." Bluto, his curiosity piqued, remarked, "Mirages in the high skies? I'm intrigued. Let's see what secrets they hold." Wimpy, thinking about potential cosmic snacks, mused, "I wonder if the mirage includes a celestial buffet. Space-themed snacks could be quite the delight." The airship sailed toward the cosmic mirage, its shimmering glow becoming more pronounced as they approached. The mischievous winds, sensing the allure of the otherworldly display, guided the crew through celestial currents and starry clouds. As they entered the heart of the mirage, the crew found themselves in a surreal landscape, an ethereal realm where floating islands were adorned with crystals that emitted celestial light. Strange creatures with iridescent wings flitted through the air, and the very fabric of reality seemed to ripple with cosmic energy. Stella Luna, her eyes shining with recognition, said, "This is no ordinary mirage, my friends. We've entered a cosmic gateway, a realm between dimensions. It's a place where the boundaries of space and time blur." Popeye, gazing at the surreal surroundings, remarked, "Looks like we've stumbled upon a cosmic crossroads. Who knows what wonders and challenges await us in this dimension-hopping realm?" As the crew explored the cosmic mirage, they encountered celestial puzzles and challenges that tested their understanding of the cosmic energies. The mischievous winds, ever playful, whispered hints and nudged the crew in the right direction. Bluto, flexing his muscles, said, "If there's one thing I've learned in all our adventures, it's that strength alone won't solve these cosmic puzzles. We need a blend of wisdom and courage." Olive, her eyes sparkling with determination, added, "Let's work together and navigate this cosmic realm. I believe we can uncover its secrets." Wimpy, already imagining a celestial feast, chimed in, "Perhaps the mirage includes a hidden snack dimension. I'm ready for a taste of interdimensional treats." As the crew solved the celestial puzzles and navigated the cosmic challenges, the mirage revealed its secrets, a portal to a distant part of the skyway, where a legendary constellation awaited. The crew, now attuned to the cosmic energies, sailed through the portal and emerged in a part of the high skies that held untold wonders. The mischievous winds, satisfied with the cosmic tale they had woven, played with the sails, creating a celestial breeze that guided the sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair toward new horizons. As the crew looked ahead to more laughter, surprises, and the ever-unfolding mysteries of the high skies, the cosmic mirage faded into the celestial tapestry of their seafaring adventures. Episode 20, The Enchanted Sky Gardens. The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair sailed through the skyway, guided by the glow of the star shard crystal and the celestial winds. The crew, having navigated the cosmic mirage, now found themselves in a part of the high skies that held a different kind of enchantment, the legendary enchanted sky gardens. As they sailed through clouds that seemed to bloom with celestial flowers, the mischievous winds carried whispers of the mystical gardens ahead. Popeye, Olive, Bluto, Wimpy, Skyblade Scarlet, and Stella Luna, the astronomer, marveled at the celestial beauty that surrounded them. Popeye, squinting at the vibrant clouds, said, "Well, blow me down. Looks like we've entered the enchanted sky gardens. These clouds be bloomin' with cosmic wonders." Olive, her eyes wide with awe, added, "I've read about these gardens. They're said to be a haven of celestial flora and fauna. I can't wait to explore." Bluto, his gruff demeanor softened by the enchanting surroundings, remarked, "Gardens in the sky? This is a new one for me. Let's see what surprises they hold." Wimpy, already imagining celestial snacks inspired by the gardens, mused, "I wonder if there are cloud-shaped pastries or stardust-infused desserts. A garden-themed feast could be quite the treat." The airship descended onto one of the floating islands within the enchanted sky gardens. The moment they set foot on the cloud-paved paths, the crew felt the magic of the celestial flora. Flowers that emitted soothing melodies, trees with leaves that sparkled like stars, and creatures with wings of stardust that flitted through the air. Stella Luna, her eyes alight with fascination, said, "The enchanted sky gardens are a convergence of celestial energies. It's a place where the boundaries between the earthly and the cosmic are blurred." As the crew explored the gardens, they encountered celestial beings known as skyweavers, artisans who wove threads of stardust into intricate tapestries that told the tales of the high skies. Each tapestry depicted a different aspect of the celestial realms, from ancient constellations to the cosmic dance of galaxies. Poppy, studying a tapestry depicting the mischievous winds at play, remarked, "These skyweavers have a way of capturing the essence of the high skies. It's like the tales of our adventures, woven into the fabric of the cosmos." Olive, admiring a tapestry of floating islands and celestial currents, added, "It's as if the gardens themselves are a living tapestry. I feel like we're part of a celestial story." Bluto, his eyes fixed on a tapestry showcasing the cosmic mirage, admitted, "Even the toughest guy can appreciate the artistry of the skyweavers. This is truly something special." As the crew continued their exploration, they reached the heart of the enchanted sky gardens, where a celestial pool reflected the stars above. Stella Luna, sensing a connection to the cosmic energies, guided the crew in a ritual that allowed them to attune themselves to the celestial magic of the gardens. The mischievous winds, now gentle and harmonious, played a melody that resonated with the celestial pool. The crew, surrounded by the enchantment of the high skies, felt a profound connection to the cosmic energies that flowed through the gardens. As they sailed away from the enchanted sky gardens, the crew looked ahead to more laughter, surprises, and the ever-unfolding wonders of the high skies. The celestial winds, now filled with the harmonious tune of the skyweavers, carried the sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair toward new celestial adventures. Episode 21, The Celestial Regatta. The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair sailed through the high skies, their journey guided by the cosmic energies of the enchanted sky gardens. As the crew marveled at the celestial wonders surrounding them, a new event unfolded on the horizon. The Celestial Regatta, a grand gathering of skyfarers from across the skyway. One day, as the airship sailed through a vast expanse of celestial clouds, the crew noticed colorful banners and celestial sails in the distance. Popeye, his eye sharp as ever, said, "Well, blow me down. Looks like we've stumbled upon the celestial regatta, a gathering of skyfarers that's bound to be a sight." Olive, her eyes shining with excitement, added, "I've heard about the celestial regatta. It's a celebration of high sky sailing and a chance for skyfarers to showcase their skills. Let's join in the fun." Bluto, his competitive spirit ignited, remarked, "A sailing competition in the high skies? I'm in. Let's show 'em what the sailing ship Spinach can do." Wimpy, already envisioning a feast in honor of the regatta, mused, "I wonder if they have special regatta-themed snacks. Sailing-inspired treats could be quite the delight." The airship sailed toward the gathering of celestial vessels, where skyfarers from all corners of the skyway had converged for the regatta. The mischievous winds, sensing the competitive spirit in the air, played with the sails, creating a playful breeze that added an extra element of excitement. Skyblade Scarlet, her eyes gleaming with anticipation, said, "Welcome to the Celestial Regatta, my friends. It's a chance to showcase our sailing skills, compete with fellow skyfarers, and of course, have a bit of fun." The crew, eager to join the regatta, prepared the sailing for the high sky competition. The regatta consisted of various challenges, navigating through celestial currents, racing between floating islands, and testing the agility of the airships in the ever-changing winds. Popeye, gripping the wheel with determination, said, "Let's give it our all, mates. The high skies have been good to us, and now it's time to show what the sailing ship Spinach can do." As the regatta commenced, the crew skillfully guided the airship through the challenges. The mischievous winds, ever playful, added twists and turns to the celestial currents, creating a dynamic and exhilarating race. Olive, her eyes sparkling with joy, shouted over the wind, "This is incredible! The high skies are like a grand racetrack, and the sailing ship Spinach is a star performer." Bluto, his competitive spirit fully ignited, grinned as the airship sailed ahead. "No one can match the power and speed of the sailing ship Spinach. We've got this in the bag." Wimpy, holding onto his hat as the airship sped through the regatta course, mused, "I hope there's a snack-themed trophy for the winner. It would look great in our celestial gallery." As the regatta reached its climax, the sailing ship Spinach crossed the finish line with triumphant cheers from the crew. The mischievous winds, applauding in their own way, carried the echoes of victory through the high skies. The crew, now celebrated as champions of the celestial regatta, joined the festivities with their fellow skyfarers. The regatta became a grand celebration of high sky sailing, camaraderie, and the boundless wonders of the skyway. As the sun dipped below the celestial horizon, casting a golden glow across the clouds, the crew looked ahead to more laughter, surprises, and the ever-unfolding adventures of the high skies. The celestial winds, now filled with the joyous tales of the regatta, carried the sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair toward new horizons. Episode 22, The Astral Observatory. The sailing ship Spinach and the celestial corsair sailed through the high skies, their victory in the celestial regatta still echoing in the celestial winds. As the crew enjoyed the afterglow of their triumph, an unexpected celestial event awaited them: the appearance of the Astral Observatory, a legendary structure said to hold the secrets of the cosmos. One day, As they sailed through a particularly radiant part of the skyway, Popeye, ever vigilant, noticed a celestial glow on the horizon. "Well, blow me down. Looks like we've got ourselves a visit to the Astral Observatory. That'd be a place of cosmic wonders." Olive, her curiosity piqued, added, "I've read about the Astral Observatory. It's said to be a haven of celestial knowledge, where the mysteries of the high skies are unveiled. Let's set a course for discovery." Bluto, his interest sparked, remarked, "Knowledge about the cosmos? This could be more valuable than any treasure. I'm curious to see what secrets it holds." Wimpy, thinking about the potential celestial snacks inspired by the observatory, mused, "I wonder if they have star-shaped pastries or galaxy-themed desserts. An observatory feast could be quite the treat." The airship sailed toward the source of the celestial glow, and soon the Astral Observatory revealed itself, a majestic structure suspended in the high skies, its towers reaching toward the stars. The mischievous winds, sensing the crew's anticipation, played with the sails, creating a breeze that guided them to the observatory's floating entrance. Skyblade Scarlet, her eyes filled with awe, said, "Welcome to the Astral Observatory, my friends. It's a place of cosmic insights and celestial revelations. Let's explore and see what the high skies have to unveil." The crew entered the observatory, where celestial scholars, known as Star Watchers, guided them through halls adorned with celestial maps, ancient manuscripts, and telescopes that peered into the depths of the cosmos. Stella Luna, the astronomer, felt a deep connection to the observatory's energy. This is a place where the celestial tapestry comes alive. The knowledge held within these walls is like a map